back in the 1990s. The dream was to become a $50 million company. That's what we were going for. Well, last year we sold over $338 million worth of Cutco. And for the first time ever, the most ever, CSP sold over $1 million of Cutco themselves personally, not as an office, but personally as CSPs. Just CSPs now are thriving. They're building exciting lives both in and out of the business, and they're staying with us for a long time. Look at that, 19 CSPs, over 300,000 in sales, the most that we've ever had. And I don't think that would have happened had we not gone through the adversity of 2020. Most of our awards tonight will recognize accomplishments that took place this past year in 2021. But we will have a few awards that recognize excellence, not just for a year, but over the course of an entire career. Our ultimate career award is to be inducted into our Hall of Fame. To be in the Hall of Fame requires $2 million in personal sales, or $10 million in office sales, or $20 million as a division manager. We are really proud to have 35 Hall of Fame members in our Eastern region at this time. When someone in our business reaches Hall of Fame, we recognize that accomplishment in several ways. There's a special ceremony in their honor. They receive the beautiful Hall of Fame plaque. Their picture is displayed in our Wall of Fame at our headquarters in Olean, New York. They receive a travel voucher for $5,000 to take a trip anywhere in the world, courtesy of the company. And the Hall of Fame ring, those 3 red rubies are replaced by those 11 gorgeous diamonds. It's an extravagant award for an extraordinary accomplishment. Our first Hall of Fame inductee is from the Fort Lauderdale office, and it looks like he's got a group with him outside. Congratulations to Taylor Max Ricart, new Hall of Fame member in the Eastern region. And I believe Taylor Max is joined by his mother, his sister, her boyfriend. I believe Taylor Max, your father, is out there on Zoom as well. Great to see the outdoor gathering party for Taylor Max celebrating his Hall of Fame. So let's talk a little bit about T-Max. His Hall of Fame journey began back in May of 2011 in Kathy Kristen's Miami office. So 10 years ago, Taylor Max's journey began. He was 19 years old, just finished his freshman year of college, did a pretty good job. Sold $2,100 in his fast start, had a $24,000 summer. He branched a couple of times, was the right-hand assistant manager in Kathy's office, but his real passion was selling and building relationships with clients. T-Max shared this story with me from his first SC2 push back in July of 2011 that really set the stage for his journey as a CSP. Taylor Max was $6,000 away from his goal for the push. His goal was $12,000. This is his first SC2 push. It was the next to last day of the push. That day, Taylor Max had 5 appointments. And this is back when everything was in home. There was no virtual. Those first 4 appointments went no show on the first one, no sale on the second one, canceled demo on the third one, and a no sale on the fourth. 4 straight appointments that did not go his way. Nothing sold. On the 5th appointment, his last appointment of the evening, it's getting late at night. He got lost. He showed up an hour late. He was drenched in sweat. The air conditioner in his car had broken. It's Miami in the month of July. The appointment was with Pilar Garcia. She loved Cutco. She wanted to buy, but she was about to go through surgery in her fight through cancer and wasn't sure it was the right time to make the investment. Taylor Max asked her, is there anyone else that I could call or that you could call for me right now that might be interested? It was 11 p.m. at night. She said, who do you think is going to buy knives from you at 11 o'clock over the phone? But after a little brainstorming, her eyes lit up and she said, I know exactly who you should call. T-Max did a phone demo. This is 10 years ago. He did a phone demo. There was no virtual demo back then. And with no visual aids whatsoever, just talking over the phone, he sold his first ultimate set, his first flatware chest, and almost all the honey knives. The order was over $3,000. The biggest order that T-Max had ever had up to that point. Pilar had been watching this happen and said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and get that Homemaker Plus 8 I was thinking about. And that took his order to almost $5,000 that night. And it opened up Taylor Max's eyes to how much bigger he could be thinking on his appointments, how much bigger his opportunity could be. And it led to an important decision that he made to foster his relationships with his top clients. Both of those clients have purchased many times from TaylorMax over the years for themselves, for gifts. They've connected him with fantastic referrals. T-Max has even hosted appreciation events for his customers, including this gathering in 2020 at the Ritz-Carlton. Must be nice to be a customer of TaylorMax Ricards. T-Max made the decision to pursue selling full-time as a CSP in 2015. That first year, it didn't go the way that he wanted it to. He only sold $83,000. He had a lot of struggles. Several times that first year, he thought about quitting. But he surrounded himself with people who believed in him more than he believed in himself. People like his manager, Kathy Kristen, and his longtime mentor, Andy Jonte. He kept learning, he kept growing, and eventually it started to click. In 2016, he had his first Standard of Excellence year, 150 grand. He doubled his sales. And that was the first of 5 years in a row that TaylorMax performed at that level. He took it to an entirely different place this year, selling over $300,000 for the first time in his career, his best year ever. I asked T-Max for some of the keys to his success. He mentioned circle of influence. Another that he mentioned is giving freely when you can. And no one epitomizes the idea of giving freely more than TaylorMax. Over the years, he's gone out of his way to find opportunities to give back. He's mentored several of our young sales champions. He's given countless messages at events that have impacted our team. And he showed us all what it means to give freely in 2019 when he made the decision to donate one of his kidneys to his mentor and friend, Andy Jonte, who was in urgent need of a kidney transplant. When T-Max's parents asked him, "Why would you put your own life at risk and do something like this?" He told them, "Because I know the person that I'm giving this kidney to, and I believe the world needs him more than I need my second kidney." And he said the impact that Andy has had on so many people, it needs to continue. This was a major sacrifice for TaylorMax. He went through a major surgery that put him out of commission for over 2 months. Thanks to T-Max, Andy now has a kidney that is operating properly. He has a new lease on life, and I'm pleased to report that both Andy and TaylorMax have fully recovered. TaylorMax, I'm not sure if you're in your backyard or where you are out there, but I just want to salute you for the courage and the love you displayed to your brother and colleague in his time of need, and the way that you've always given freely to those around you. You are an inspiration and epitomize what it means to be a part of the Vector family. TaylorMax, I reached out to your original manager, Kathy Kristen. She's now a division manager in Houston. You're pictured here at her wedding. She said, "TaylorMax is one of my favorite people to be around. He has a great sense of humor. He's very coachable, also very skeptical," she said. "Doesn't mind doing the hard work. And since day one, I knew he would succeed at anything he put his mind to. I'm glad he chose us. I'm so proud of what he's accomplished this past decade, and even more excited to see what's ahead." T-Max, as a Hall of Fame inductee, you'll receive the beautiful Hall of Fame award. That $5,000 travel voucher is yours. I hear that you're planning a trip to Colombia, South America, and those 3 red rubies will turn into 11 beautiful diamonds. And the next time we go to that factory and only in New York, you'll see TaylorMax's picture hanging as a Cutco Hall of Famer. We also have one more thing for you, T-Max, I think you will especially appreciate. It's an album of letters from prominent people in the business congratulating you on Hall of Fame. Included are letters from our chairman of the board, Jim Stitt Sr., CEO of Cutco, Jim Stitt, our president, Al DiLeonardo, myself, our other region managers, fellow CSPs, managers from all across our Cutco nation. I know this will be something that you'll cherish for a long time, and it's a tradition for us to read one of those letters to you as an example of how people feel about you. And I think you know, TaylorMax, who we have chosen to read your letter. It's, of course, your mentor, your friend, and your fellow CSP, Andy Jonte. Andy, we'll turn it over to you.
Okay. So where do I even start? How about the fact that you came up to me at the end of your first summer and said with so much confidence, "One day you will be my mentor." You had only been in the business for 3 months. I honestly laughed and thought, I might not even ever see you again. Little did I know, by the end of the year, you reached out about joining my events team. That was 11 years ago. You love the idea of selling. Thank you. You love the idea of selling around school and management training. You came to Galleria Mall to watch me at the booth, and then we went to the famous Capitol Grill. That day, I learned the first thing about you. You are the most skeptical person I was ever going to mentor. You asked me so many questions, challenged me on everything, and sometimes asking me the same questions differently as if I was going to give you a different answer. At the end, you listened, and I guess I had answered a lot of your questions, at least for now. You quickly became the most active on the show team. You know the adage, you became a show ... Some of you will know what that means. You were so eager and genuinely enjoyed setting up and breaking down, which I believe you got from having a music background. Unfortunately, your reliability on mostly events for your sales at the time cost you in the short term and prevented you from having faster financial success. You were going back and forth between two cities, going to school, managing, going through management training, taking it all on, but you struggled, and it was very painful to see. Your tenacity really kept inspiring me to want to help you. I just wasn't going to let you fail. That was not an option. You were tough. Where are you? Oh. You were tough. And after branching twice and running offices for 2 other DMs by 2015 and lots of difficult circumstances, you were burned out. The recovery for you was a true mental challenge. You felt defeated and your belief in what's possible was at its minimum. You started doing the strict minimum. You wouldn't commit. You even left the business for a short while, but you came back with more clarity and ready to give it a fair chance. You trusted me, and I naturally felt that I wanted to keep helping you. It's hard to believe that you've never attended an RDC, one of our most powerful events, especially for your generation. But after extreme skeptical conversations again, I asked you to trust me for the first time and go to the CSP retreat. When you came back, you stepped out of your bubble because you have seen so many people in a business thriving. There was a shift of mindset. You started to help people, mentoring newer reps, learning by teaching, holding yourself accountable. You joined Justin Ford and I at the time to run the future elite of the Eastern region. Things started to change. You were no longer as focused on your own limiting beliefs because you had to be stronger for others. You were becoming a leader. Then came the real challenge in 2016 when I mentored the Fantastic Four, Colton, Mariana, Francisco, and you. You had a choice to make. It was a turning point in your career. By mid-November, you were about halfway to Standard of Excellence. You were behind the other 3 by a lot. You were ready to give up, but then you moved into my house for the next 6 weeks, and we were going to make it happen. This was right before the grand opening of the clinic, so time was not our friend, but we were both committed. You almost doubled your entire year in 6 weeks. You poured all your energy and reached it at 2 a.m. on the last day. I know because I was there. You had your first 10K day. I have literally seen you go from being fearful to succeed to pushing limits, getting out of your comfort zone, and breaking through barriers that had been strong in our events team. You were the first to win the ROLEX in the past 9 years for a division, and you were the first to sell 300 crate in the past 8 years. You are currently one of only 3 people to sell over $70,000 for SC2 for the Eastern region. Today we celebrate a career milestone, but we also celebrate the story of what's possible. You've had, to use your own words, a couple of dark years. But that didn't stop you. Today you are debt-free and you can dream about bigger things with no financial worries. That is the celebration. the true story, having had struggled and being rewarded for focusing the past few years. You didn't even have to try to sell 300K in 2021. It just happened. It happened early, just like you wanted it. That is the biggest gift for me as the person that has witnessed your change, your growth the most in this space. Thank you for trusting me to get to this point. Speaking of trust, we've all heard the expression, I trust you with my life. 3 years ago, my kidneys failed and you were the best match. You didn't have to do it, but you did. I never thought I would ever use these words with your name at the end. You came into my life so that I could help you, and you turned around and helped me in a much bigger way. But you didn't just do it. You fought, you worked extra hard to pay all your debts before going into surgery. And you always made me feel like this was one of the best things that has ever happened to you as well. You always knew I had your back and always told me that one day you would want to do something super cool to show me some gratitude. That's way beyond that. Thank you for having had my back so much beyond. I've mentored a lot of people, but you were from the beginning one of the most fun to share times with, always easygoing, always wanting to serve, always wanting to bring a smile and an experience for others. When I think about Taylor Max, the first thing that goes as far as I can remember is, where is Taylor Max? Everybody's laughing, they know. I will never forget the first time my sister said, where is T-Max? And the way she said it, I thought, oh, she knows T-Max now. In our events team, Jordan and I used to say, don't ask T-Max for anything. We can't rely on him. Wow, you proved me so wrong. Thank you for that. I think about your generosity, your kindness, your love for your family, your love for Haiti and angel wings, your resilience, your excitement for adventure and exploring the world, being Miami late, but really, your way of seeing the good in people, your desire to bring people together, your love for gadgets, and of course, Cuban coffee and tostadas. I won't ever forget some of my friends meeting you and saying, why can't everybody be more like Taylor Max? You're right, Tara Saunders, for saying that. I'm gonna end with this. A relationship started by me teaching you and hoping to pass on everything that I know to you. I am so proud of you for always fighting against the dark side and moving towards the light. Keep following that light and shine bright. You are a beacon of hope that humanity can be better. You have demonstrated at the highest level how humans can help humans. You are way beyond a high performer today. You are an extraordinary human, and I'm so grateful that our paths have crossed. I love you very much, and cheers to the next million, and the next one, and the next one after that.
Yes, sir.
That was awesome, Andy. Thank you so much for that. And Taylor Max, we have one final tribute to you in your Hall of Fame career.
I'm on vacation. Everybody sour like a lemon tree. I'm just smiling down upon my enemies. Do the shit and love it on a day and leave. Say you hate your job, but you'll never leave, never leave. But that ain't gonna be me, that ain't gonna be me. I'm just smiling down upon my enemies. But that ain't gonna be me, that ain't gonna be me. Say you hate your job, but you'll never leave, never leave. Hey, hey, I'm on vacation every single day, cause I love my occupation. Hey, 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 I'm on vacation. If you don't like your life, then you should go and change it. Hey, 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 I'm on vacation every single day, cause I love my occupation. Hey, 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 I'm on vacation every single day, every single day. single day. I can't hear, I'm here though. I may be a weirdo, but this is my year, yo. My life may be crazy, my lack of the lazy has let me do shit that I love on the daily. Daily, daily, get to do the shit I love upon the daily. Daily, daily, everybody go and live your daydreams.
Congratulations to Taylor Max Ricard's Hall of Fame inductee from Fort Lauderdale. Awesome. And thank you, Andy, for that awesome tribute to Taylor Max, newest Hall of Fame member. The first Ultimate Club achiever that we will recognize tonight has the added distinction of being inducted into our Vector Cutco Hall of Fame. He too is getting his Rolex, and that's Taylor Max Ricard from Fort Lauderdale. And Taylor Max is like, okay, me again. I get to come out. I shared Taylor Max's full story during his Hall of Fame induction earlier, but I also want to recognize Taylor Max on his accomplishment for this year. For several years, T-Max was very consistent, around $175,000 to $200,000 per year. He also is determined to take it to a larger place this year. He navigated the challenges of the pandemic in 2020, and he entered this year with a feeling of abundance and a mindset that he could do anything after conquering those challenges in 2020. He had talked about it for years, but for the first time, he committed to the business gift program. He added $30,000 in sales there. For the SC2 push, he sold over $70,000 when his biggest push had been $40,000. He sold $38,000 the last 4 days of that push, mainly from phone orders. He sold almost as much in those last 4 days as he did in his biggest SC2 push before. He had his best fall campaign ever at $129,000 in sales. He finished the year at over $315K, 79% increase. We inducted him earlier into the Hall of Fame. He's a 5-time Standard of Excellence winner. Taylor Max, congratulations on your best year ever and being a Rolex winner. Congratulations to T-Max joining the Ultimate Club and winning his Rolex as well.
We want to thank everybody for attending. It has been an amazing event with a lot of great recognition. Have a wonderful evening, and thank you very much. Let's have a great 2022.